Hey guys, this is the Hidden Hero. I'm back again with another Lost Relic video for you guys. Today, we're gonna cover the FrostFang Medium article, so let's get right into it right now. As usual, the link to the article will be down in the description below. Let's get right into this. Rework of Potions. So here is basically the gist of what's being changed for the potions. Let's quickly glance over them. Potions now last for a single adventure. Pre-potting is no longer possible. In Descending Nightmares Hellfire, potions last one level or a floor. Potions now stack up to 5, allowing players to prepare for multiple runs or several Descending Nightmare or Hellfire floors. Immunity potions have been removed. Damage potions have been reworked. Transcendent potions have been reworked. To be honest, I am terrified and concerned about that word reworked, is because usually that means it's a nerf. Okay, I'm just gonna say it's a nerf, because it's like reworked means that like it's not gonna be the same as it was before. So unless you're gonna buff it, which that would be amazing, but that's not gonna happen, obviously, because based on this update, it's mainly pertaining to making this event more challenging, more difficult, I guess. So this is a nerf. Granted, they do explain why they're doing this, is because these changes help balance resource regeneration and consumable usage, while also increasing the value of artifacts and permanent upgrades. They will also make it much easier to properly balance future content upcoming Colossi. We understand that some players optimize their builds around clearing multiple runs with a single potion setup. However, this was never intended as a core mechanic. Potions are now meant to support builds and provide tactical boost rather than defining an entire run. To support this change, we have significantly reduced the resources required to craft potions. That's good to hear. It is also worth noting that not everyone plays the game as a speed runner. For many players, this change is actually beneficial, allowing you to take breaks, answer the door, or step away briefly without worrying about potions expiring mid-run. Potion Surge. We've added a new hotkey Potion Surge, so be sure to check the keybind as you might want to use it. It'll allow you to consume all your potions in your inventory with a single key. Okay, that's pretty good to see. Pets grant cleanse ability. Every pet now grants you the ability to cleanse negative effects from yourself. This includes, here are all the status effects you can read for yourself. However, this ability comes with both an energy cost and a cooldown. However, higher rarity pets will grant lower cooldown durations and reduce energy costs. So my goat will be able to help me out in a bind. Nice. The following monsters now apply status effects or have a reworked version. So basically, these are the different effects that these monsters have gotten. The monsters pretty much got a buff, more or less. Now, this is important to read. On top of that, Guardians have gained a new ability. When they strike you with their basic attacks, they apply Guardians Reclaim. This debuff drains your energy and converts it into health for the Guardian at an amplified rate. Consider yourself warned. Damage over time and loss of character control. Basically, again, this is more nerfs in terms of difficulty and more buffs for the enemy, because they had to change the damage over time. As you can see here, these are the time bulletins of each effect that basically bleed, chill, decay now lasts for 20 seconds. Slow and burn lasts for 30 seconds. Vulnerable now lasts for 60 seconds. Poison now lasts for 300 seconds. That's like about 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, which I think that should be a typo, but if it's not, that's insane, which, I mean, I guess you're gonna have to use your pet for that situation, most likely. And loss of character control effects such as freeze, stun, entangle, and now last for 4 seconds. The damage over times all have different damage values, which increase depending on the tier difficulty of the adventure. So basically, the higher the tier, the more the damage, so you're most likely gonna die if you're at Transcendent maps, most likely. Note, check your armor perks. If you invested in health or damage reduction, you'll also gain an additional effect that reduces the duration of crowd control. This helps maintain balance for melee players. So I'm not sure what crowd control is, but I guess it might mean like status effects here that they're talking about, but we'll see. Artisan Kiln. Players with an abundance of crafted resources can now take them to the Artisan Kiln, where you'll be rewarded with Artisan Sigils. These Artisan Sigils can be exchanged at the kiln for containers containing Arcane Fragment, which is pretty nice. Another balance and change affects nature's gift exchanges. Buying containers remain the same price, however, buying resources now cost double, which is insane. ShatterForge. Players can now take collectibles they no longer want to the ShatterForge and receive a new currency called Shatter Core. When collectibles are broken down at the ShatterForge, their remaining supply is reduced. So this is what you can get with the new currency. You can buy valuable new artifacts, purchase weapons, or recycle it for Arcane Fragments. The exchange can yield Arcane Fragment, Uncommon and Epic, Shatterfest Orb, a brand new container, Valor Triad Transcendent, and the Shatter Cleaver Transcendent one-handed axe that we've talked about before. Some items require a Shatter Core blueprint. Each time you break down collectibles, there's a chance to obtain one. These are the drop tables for you getting a chance to get a blueprint. Transcendent items cannot be broken down. Note some older virtual items that were converted into collectibles follow different rules. I think they're referring to as, I think, the Berserker Band or the Hydra Shield. Shatterfest Orb. This new container has a chance to yield 2 new artifacts. Riot Medallion, which has a 10% chance to trigger Frenzy. Shatter Lord's Crest, mythical, 20% range, magic, and melee attack speed. 5% movement speed and 10% critical damage. This container might be actually worthwhile of shattering your old collectible to actually get this container, and if you actually get that mythical crest, it's gonna be insane. I think it might be worth it then, but we shall see. Note these items have limited supplies. Once they are exhausted, they are not guaranteed to be replaced with other collectibles. The same applies to the Transcendent Weapons and or Valor Triads. Arcane Fragment Legendary. A quick note, Arcane Fragment Legendary can now also be used to activate a unique goal. Completing this goal rewards Shatter Core, offering another way to diversify how you earn rewards in the game. That's good to hear. Descending Nightmare and Hellfire. Let's see what they've changed. We have reworked how players obtain Nightmare Vaults. You now need to clear 30 levels to earn a Nightmare Vault. Credits to Celsia for the idea. If you run Descending Hellfire, you start with +3 levels already counted. And here they give an example of how the actual mechanics of the Nightmare Vault is going to work and why there was an uprising of Astral Dreams being distributed because of the higher rate of players playing Descending Nightmare and Hellfire. However, to keep the system balanced, we adjusted the entry cost of keys for this mode. So I'm assuming the Nightmare key is going to cost more instead of just 1, probably 2 or 3 maybe, just to get into the mode probably. That's my prediction, but we'll see. Primeforge Shards. Building on Descending Nightmare changes, we've increased Axiom Sigil drops from Custodians, making it easier to reach weekly rewards. That's good. We also adjusted the Primeforge Shard system. Primeforge Shard Epic has been removed. Primeforge Shard Legendary remains and now guarantees a single effect. That is, when you select effects to apply, you will be limited just to a single effect at 5%, guaranteeing the effects that's applied. So that's great because for higher tier like Mythical and Transcendent, it's randomized. But for Legendary, you're able to get it no matter what at 5%, as that's your only single effect, which is not too bad honestly as a balance change. Expedition FrostFang. Let's get right into this. Contracts. Some contracts goals have been slightly reworked, nothing drastic, but you may notice the differences as you complete them. Additionally, bronze and silver contract prices have been increased. We introduced many new ways to obtain arcane fragments, and this change ensures a stable economy. I hope so. Hopefully the prices aren't too high now. Rewards. We've simplified rewards even further. Every completed tier now grants a Valorbound mark allowing players complete freedom in choosing their progression path. So this is what you can do. You can either buy Arcane Fragments to choose to upgrade armor or tools, buying Primeforge Shards weapon upgrades, or you can acquire Valor Triads, obviously the Transcendent or the new artifacts themselves. And the last thing I want to say is here. Level 17 still grants a Valorbound seal, which can be exchanged for the following items here. So I gotta say, I love this change. This is awesome, because if we're guaranteed a Valorbound mark every time I level up a tier, no more titles. Thank you. That is like the best news I've heard so far in this Medium article. Colossi encounter changes. Players cannot bring their own equipment to this encounter. Instead, you must obtain Titanforge items. Purchase an expedition pass grants you your first Titanforge token, allowing you to exchange it for a weapon of your choice. So when you first get your Royal Sapphires to actually purchase an expedition pass, you'll be able to purchase one of these items, which is not too bad. Artifacts in the encounter. Players who level Titanfall will have access to Combat Augment, previously called Soulcraft Combat Augment. This artifact becomes your first item allowed in the encounter. To properly balance this item, we significantly reduced the bonus values. The original values were designed for players using Soulcraft weapons, which is no longer relevant here. So basically, another nerf, but it's understandable. That nerf I understood. Fighting a Colossus with just a weapon and one artifact is a serious challenge. A new weekly goal will reward additional Titanforge token, allowing players to gradually build their Titanforge setup. You can also choose to sell these artifacts if you prefer not to use them. So I have to honestly say I'm neutral about this option, because again, I have yet to test out how difficult this Colossus is going to be. But at the same time, I kind of get the idea that if you complete these goals and then eventually you get to purchase these Titanforge equipments and you'll be able to get stronger as time goes on, which I think it's an interesting system, and I'm willing to give this a chance and hopefully it works out. All I just know is we're going to be suffering the first week. Valorbound Chest. As with every expedition, we've added a new Valorbound Chest available for purchase for 5,000 Lunari. To give everyone a fair chance to obtain one, the chest will have an unlimited supply for the first 24 hours, which is awesome. I think that's a great news, so people aren't just gonna FOMO in and just, dump their life savings and whatever to just get at least one of these chests. So I do like this change. After that period, we will review how many were sold and determine the remaining fixed supply, which is interesting because I don't know what they're going to decide, if they're going to add a lot or a very little. I don't know. That's interesting. And this is the drop table summary here. So you're guaranteed an Inverdhen Homestead deed. You're guaranteed a certain number of Descending Nightmare keys. You're guaranteed a Breach and a Titan Elixir. However, you have a small, tiny 10% chance to get a Champion's Residence Emblem or an Inverdhen Market Sigil. I mean, heck, you might get lucky and get both. I mean, that would be amazing, but obviously we'll see what happens there. Inverdhen Home. So finally, we can actually live in Inverdhen. Unlocking the home requires 5,000 Lunari plus an Inverdhen Homestead deed. Now, the question I need to ask the devs right now is this. If I pay 5,000 Lunari for the Valorbound Chest, I'm guaranteed the deed. Question is, do I have to pay an additional 5,000 just to unlock the house as well? So I need some clarifications there, or if not, do I just buy the chest and I'm guaranteed the house, which I assume that's what it should be. You just buy the chest and you could get the home. Otherwise, it's going to be a big old problem there. So I think some revision might need to be worked, or I'm just an idiot not realizing what it says, and I'm pretty sure it just means you just buy the chest and you get the darn house. I'm hoping that's the case. Once you have that homestead deed, once you've bought that Valorbound chest, or if you've killed enough Guardians and there's a chance you can get it in the new Guardians War chest, they have a chance to drop it, by the way, you can get the home, but you also have to pay an additional 5,000 Lunari plus the Inverdhen Home sleeve. Former Guardian's Chest, Guardian Keys, and Invictus Insignia. All Guardian's Chests currently owned by players have had their drop tables rolled automatically. The resulting rewards have been credited to players in the form of a gift. This is no difference to opening every chest yourself. All Guardian Keys have been converted 1-to-1 Arcane Fragment Uncommon, and all Invictus Insignia have also been converted but 2-per-1 into Arcane Fragment Uncommon. Obviously, this is the new Guardian chest here. The new Guardian War chest does not require a key to open. We will monitor the market and remove the Inverdhen Homestead from the drop table at a later time. So at a later time, I'm hoping you guys can actually communicate that information when you're going to do that. Don't just do it without telling the community when you're going to do that. So we'd appreciate that. So thank you. Champion's Residence. This honestly is just a flex of, oh, I get to show you that this is the inside of this area that I'm in, and doesn't really seem to provide anything actually significant. I mean, I would love to know what's in there besides just the area, but I feel like this is just a flex and nothing else. Inverdhen Emporium. So again, we've talked about this before, that the only way to gain access to this Emporium, you need that Inverdhen Market Sigil. And otherwise, if you don't have it, you can't get in. And it does feel nice to be able to access the market. I'm going to try my best to actually get one of these, but we shall see how Lady Luck treats me this time around. We'll see. Adventure start screen. This is going to be the new start screen you have here. This, for example, they tell you Guardian Arena, which is champion. This is the monster level. This is the common experience that you're going to get for this run, I believe. And this is the entry. And what I love about this, they actually show you, they actually say guaranteed. So you're guaranteed these Waygate orbs, which is nothing new. But they also give you a percentage of what you're going to get depending on what the guard's going to drop, which is really, really nice. I actually like this. These now provide an overview of which monsters appear in each mode, which item drops in end chest, and the drop tables for those items. Currency configuration. Basically here you're able to toggle on and off and reorder the amount of currency, which I'm a bit surprised that there's so many currencies in this game. But the idea is, I do appreciate them making actually a nice little organizer with all these different coins. I mean, I've never been a part of the Easter egg event, even though I've been playing this game since 2021. I'm kind of happy to see what the currency was for the Easter egg event, because again, I've never participated in it before. But it's nice to see what it looks like. Weekly goals. We have removed and reworked several weekly goals and added a few new ones. Be sure to check them out. I'm hoping the ones you removed are the ones with the 25k monster kills and the 1.5 mil production, because when you think about it, it's going to be very difficult for us to do 25 kills monsters every week, since we no longer are able to speed run the adventures, since it's 1 potion per adventure now, and also the amount of resources it takes to make the potions now, it's going to be adjusted as well. So I'm pretty sure those are hopefully removed or maybe reworked, hopefully to be lesser, I hope. But we shall see. Rewards shop. There are now new perks and additions available from the rewards tab in the main menu, which you can now use your Royal Sapphires on. Basically, the in-game store where you're able to buy Lunari, you always get some amount of Royal Sapphires depending on your membership of the tier. Basically, Royal Sapphires have an additional functionality besides purchasing the same old thing. You get to purchase these items, which I can't wait to check out what some of these rune items do. Astral Chest. The Astral Chest system has been retired. Players can now directly purchase elixirs from Voila Night Bloom, either to use themselves or sell on the Royal Emporium. So for the elixirs, it's no longer RNG based on the Astral Chest. Basically, the NPC will be able to sell it to you and you're guaranteed to get it, which is a nice quality of life change. And they've also added some elixirs for Breach and Titanfall while removing Colossal boosters. Weapon balancing. We've increased the damage of short bows and one-handed melee weapons by 5%. This adjustment was necessary due to the broader balance changes introduced in this update. We will continue actively monitoring weapon performance and attack speeds to determine if additional adjustments are required. Gamepads. We are aware that with the recent addition of new inputs like cleanse and potion surge that the number of buttons required exceeds what a gamepad can do. Our gamepad support has always been experimental, but we've been working to improve this and will soon be adding better support for keybind with modifiers. That is, you'll be able to hold left trigger and press another button to trigger an action, while allowing you far more options for bindings. In the meantime, you may need to switch back to keyboard and mouse if it's too awkward to bind the keys you're trying to use. Marketplace orders canceled. Basically, whatever orders that you had going on in the Emporium, it's basically going to be canceled no matter what you did or not, so everything should be fine basically. The future, devs know. So what's next? Running a live service game means that balancing, introducing a small new mechanics, releasing expeditions, fixing bugs, and supporting players will always consume a large portion of our time. However, we can finally say the word many of you have been waiting for. We are now actively working on co-op. Wow, that is impressive. Finally, I cannot believe this moment has happened. I feels like forever I've been waiting for this type of announcement to happen. I am super duper excited for this. There's a little bit more to read. Let's see what they said. What co-op will not be? A full MMO, large shared hub with hundreds of players, perfect latency for players across continents. What we are building: small cooperative runs, 2 to 4 players, instance gameplay, best experience with players in nearby regions. This is a big step for the game, and we're excited to share more details as development progresses. This is the most exciting announcement they've said so far, that they're actually starting to work on co-op, which I'm so happy to hear. And other changes: Peekaboo Brew is now legendary, was epic. Sylvan's grip is changed to Scavenger's Lens. Miner's hat is changed to Fisherman's Friend. Release notes. As usual, I'll only cover topics that were not mentioned in the article. Added new cleansing ring, which you can purchase for 50 Lunari from Gabrielle and allows you to perform cleanse. Added new ShatterForge, where you can break down non-unique blockchain weapons and artifacts, burning the item and lowering remaining supply while giving you shatter cores. Added a hotkey to consume all potions, Z by default. Fees paid on digital collectibles purchases in the Emporium now reward the buyer over time with Royal Sapphires. Every $20 USD of fees spent will result in 2 Royal Sapphires at bronze tier, 3 for silver, 4 for gold, up to 6 for diamond. Added player's house in Inverdhen and move the Talmuth Rift next to it, only available if you have the house so that it works the same as Talmuth. When the end of an expedition nears, a server message will appear warning of the end of an expedition and that items will disintegrate and all NPC trades must be completed. Revamped all music tracks from Nick Nightshade, check them out. Updated the adventure theme and map for Valdred Highlands. Overall, I think this update's pretty in the middle for me, because at first I just thought this update was complete bad news entirely. It was just bad all around. However, I'm happy to see that there are some changes that are for the better, that are quality of life changes, and some of them I'm gonna have to adapt to, because honestly, I just love having 10-minute potions and just do 3 runs right back to back. But I'm gonna have to adjust to just 1 potion per adventure, and we'll see how that works out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, what you think about this update. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. And don't forget to boost the hidden hero when you get a chance. I greatly appreciate that. That's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here, be sure to hit that like and subscribe, and hit that bell icon too for more Lost Relic news, events, and the weekly loot. And never forget to follow your arrow. Take care.